have to tell you unequivocally that we don't have a universal agreement. There are people in the office that strongly believe that the Menendez brothers should stay in prison the rest of their life, and they do not believe that they were molested. And there are people in the office that strongly believe that they should be released immediately and that they were in fact molested. I have to tell you that after a very careful review of all the arguments that were made for people on both sides of this equation, I came to a place where I believe that under the law, resentencing is appropriate, and I am going to recommend that to a court tomorrow. What that means in this particular case is that we're going to recommend to the court that the life without the possibility of parole be removed and that they will be sentenced for murder, which, because there are two murders involved, that will be 50 years to life. However, because of their age, under the law, since they were under 26 years of age at the time that these crimes occurred, they will be eligible for parole immediately.
Family members of the Menendez brothers have advocated for their release. A jury convicted Eric and Lyle Menendez in 1989 for the murder of their parents in Los Angeles, California. Attorneys for the brothers announced prosecutors are now reviewing new evidence to determine whether they should be serving life sentences. The brothers admitted to the crime, but at the time said they feared their parents were about to kill them to prevent the disclosure of the father's long-term sexual molestation of Eric. Eric and Lyle are serving life sentences without the possibility of parole.
Because of Gascon's harsh political beliefs, which is making the re-election a tight one, people are outraged. Is that going to work against the Menendez brothers in this case?
That's a good question. So I have two thoughts on that. One is that District Attorney Gascon, when he originally said that he was looking at the new evidence in the case, he originally said, I am not going to make a decision until after election. And then last week, boom, it's like a race. Everyone is running. It's breaking news. He's making an announcement and he's doing it before election day. What happened? What's the emergency? There's no emergency in this case. So I do believe, because he is behind in the polls, I believe that this was politically motivated on his part, perhaps for one or two reasons. One, to help his election, or two, if he really believes that the sentencing should be reduced and he wants to do this while he is still elected and in power, he's got to do it. Let's say if he loses the election, he's got to do it and get this done before his term is over. So one of those two reasons could be what pushed it up, or maybe even both of them.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, it feels political, and it feels like if this is his last moments in office, he wants to have this on his record. He wants to get this done for the family. So what do you think Lyle and Eric would have to do to integrate successfully back into society? Because this is a different world than when they left it. And yes, they have access, they're married, they have access to technology in prison, but coming out, they're pretty much celebrities almost in their own right, which has to be overwhelming. They have so much support. What do you think they need to do in order to come out and thrive in society?
Alexandra, you know what I'd like to see them do? I would like them, if they get a second chance at life, I want them to do good with it. I want them to take everything that they've learned and champion this cause for others. I want them to make a difference in this world. I think that would be the greatest gift, and the truest sense of rehabilitation is to turn around and do something good, not for themselves, but for others. And if they can dedicate their lives to service for the betterment of other people, that I think is the best outcome. However, if they decide to pick up their life where they left off with the shopping for the Rolex and the Rolls Royce and the partying and all this, I hope not. I hope not.
What's going on, everyone? It's Crime Time Podcast, back with another update into Menendez mania. That's what I've been calling it, as there has been so much content coming out, Menendez brothers related, from documentaries, docu-series, scripted crime dramas, just all kinds of different content. And this is the power of the blogosphere, the internet, social network, trending stories, just something becoming discussed so much, it ends up having a chain reaction where the public responds, there's interest, more documentaries are made, investigative journalists go out there in the field and, do their work. And it's wild. It eventually makes its way to the court and things happen. We saw it in the R. Kelly case, with the surviving R. Kelly, someone who got away with some sick, disturbing crimes for a very, very long time. And, the surviving R. Kelly came out, and there was some stuff with the lawyer. Many people consider him to be a dirty, shady lawyer. I don't know, you can comment and let me know how you feel all about that, who, obtained new evidence in the R. Kelly case and turned it over. And then we saw the feds get involved in a similar thing with the Diddy case. It all kind of started on social network when the media found out about the lawsuit, the settlement, I should say. As Diddy played hardball trying not to settle with Cassie and ultimately did, and she signed an NDA, but the media got a hold of the fact that there was a lawsuit filed and some of the allegations leaked out, and then other individuals started filing lawsuits, and same kind of thing, social network, everyone's talking about it. The feds get involved, they raid his house, and there Diddy is behind bars. There really is a power when it comes to the blogosphere and social network. It's pretty crazy if you think about it. But with the Menendez brothers, this was a big case way back in the day when it happened. Obviously, I'm sure a lot of people who've been following it are well aware of that, or some of y'all might have lived through it back then. As I stated in another video way back in the 90s, it was being referenced in pop culture. If you guys remember Cable Guy, you guys remember that during the movie, there was references to the Menendez brothers trial where constantly, when you would see a TV in the background throughout the movie, there would be the trial going on, and Ben Stiller was playing one of the brothers, and they had a phone 911 phone call and everything. It was clearly based on the Menendez brothers, as one of them kind of does look like Ben Stiller, you know what I mean? That was wild. Comment if you just hearing of this case now more recently, or you remember it from back then and you're following it again now, and let me know what you think. If you feel that this was just cold-blooded murder based on greed, and they hatched this plan to kill their parents for no reason other than greed and trying to get their hands on all that money, as the prosecutors alleged back then, or you believe the fact that they were victimized by a sick set of parents, a father who was abusing them, a mother who knew what was going on and did nothing to stop it, and ultimately, their minds were warped and they feared for their life and ended up doing what they did. It was such a crazy case, a shady psychologist involved trying to shake them down for money. It was nuts, man. Hurt people. This is something we know. Anyone who's ever been through anything horrible like that from some kind of sick demon out there, this firsthand. There's evil put into this world by demons who hurt individuals and violate them. It's sick, disgusting. They all deserve to pay. They all deserve to go away. They all deserve to burn in hell. If anyone knows of this firsthand, y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? And nowadays, a lot more in regards to abuse and the effect it has on individuals is out there and more common knowledge and accepted within the court of law in different way. There's been so many advancements in mental health and different things of that nature, and hurt people. It's a sick, disgusting cycle. It's no excuse to go out and commit crimes, as you see this prosecutor saying in one clip. But it's just sick. If this is indeed true what happened, I feel they deserve to be let loose. I mean, they've been behind bars for decades, a very, very long time. As you see now, they're grown men, married, trying to keep their heads up and been fighting to hopefully get out, as there's new evidence in the case. This we know, since the case has been being looked back into, which was news that hit a little while back. And we found out that there's a letter that was sent to a cousin from one of the brothers speaking of the abuse from their father, who they say was a sick, wicked demon. And something that was highlighted in that Menendez Menudo documentary. And there was a few different documentaries. I think there was one that came out on one platform where a guy from Menudo came forward and said something. And then I believe there was one where they just flat out called it Menendez Menudo and looked solely into that the father seemingly was accused, and there was evidence of him violating members of Menudo, little kids. It's so sick and disturbing. It turns my stomach. It's just pure evil demonry. Once again, I like to point that out when I talk about these kind of individuals. I consider them to be demonic, and I want to know if you think that that's what it is with the father, if you believe this to be true, as one of the members of Menudo went on record and had an affidavit notarized and everything, turned it over to the court and was speaking out. And in the documentary, it sounded like he may have victimized other members of that group, but only one spoke out. I don't know, it just seemed really weird. Like he was obsessed with this boy band. Like what in the fuck is going on with a grown man being obsessed with the members of this boy band like that? It's so sick and disturbing, and it's not a new story. We've heard this about sick things like this in Hollywood and the music industry, just all over in the entertainment world. You know what I mean? Like, parents, be safe. Watch out for your kids. Watch out who's around them. I never quite understand like some of this stuff we saw going on with the Diddy case and Usher and Justin Bieber and such. Like individuals, essentially their parents turning them over blindly to people like, we're going to make their career take off, and not being there to supervise what's going on. I just don't quite understand how it happens, why the parents allow it. But as far as the case goes officially, when it comes to court, some of these media outlets are getting a bit ahead of themselves, saying that they will indeed for sure be resentenced. And I hope that they will. I truly believe, it's not like they're asking them to vacate the convictions or, just throw the case out or anything. They're just saying, hey, these guys served all this time. They don't deserve to rot in prison for the rest of their lives, and they should be eligible for parole, which they will be free, but they will still have parole stipulations that they'll have to abide by. And at the end of the day, I'm believing that just based on everything, I feel that they do deserve for that to happen. But why I'm saying these media outlets are getting a bit ahead of themselves is because even though the district attorney, or the prosecutor, what's his name? George Gasson, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. If not, excuse me, you know what I mean? I butcher names from time to time. Apologies. But you heard those true crime bloggers in the beginning debating if they believe this is politically motivated or not. As this has been something that's being talked about. He was going to wait. Should he go forward with it now? The district attorney's office is split about this, but he's going forward and recommending to the judge that they be resentenced. And again, I say their media outlets are getting ahead of themselves, because the ultimate final say comes down to what the judge has to say. And last reported court date was on November 26th, so just a few weeks away. But that could be subject to change. But from my understanding, there has not been a new court date put out yet. But if the judge does go forward on the 26th, if that is indeed their fateful day of court, and follow the recommendation of the district attorney and resentence them, he could very well do it that very day and they could be free men. He could decide he wants time to think on this and postpone it for another court date, or he could go ahead and say, I'm going to resentence them, but I'm going to do it on a different date. I feel like if he does, he may possibly do it right then and there at that very moment. So everyone, please hit the comments and share your thoughts across the board about this topic, everything going on here. As always, that's what it's all about on this platform, is hearing from you guys, the people out there. Make sure to subscribe, hit the like button and all that for me. Help me break on through in the algorithm, as we're going to be having a lot of true crime content on a daily basis. We're going to have live streams where you can call in and all that, so tap in, hit the buttons, but more importantly, join the discussion. Let's debate. Let's talk about this. If there's any pertinent info, you feel that I'm missing on, comment, fill me in, leave links to pertinent videos or information, things of that nature. As always, like I said, it's all about talking with the people out there. I don't claim to be any expert. I'm just a guy trying to make content and engage with other individuals out there in the blogosphere. And so let me know, do you think it's politically motivated, or do you think, like they were saying, maybe he just wants to get this done in case he's not in office? Like, this is we got to go forth with this now. Or it could be, to win political points. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter to the Menendez brothers, but I'm just curious to know what you guys think about it, as well as what their life would look like when they come home. I guess they probably would be celebrities sometimes, individuals who get out of prison after long stints like this, or just people who are in prison who almost kind of have a celebrity status. Very often that can fade away, but I could see them possibly coming home and maybe trying to help other individuals with a similar situation to them. Like advocating and trying to put together maybe a organization, a nonprofit or something that helps people who have similar cases where some sick creep may have been violating them and they didn't get a fair shake of it in court, and evidence wasn't looked at properly. As like I said, very often in a lot of cases, as time goes on, a court may look into something and say, hey, society has changed. The way we look at things has changed so much. Let's look into this case from today's current perspective in this day and age. So let me know what you think about all that. But something that was kind of wild to me, as you heard in the third clip, that there was a press conference where a bunch of family members of the Menendez brothers, which we saw in the different content that has come out, whether it be the Netflix series or the documentary, as we saw the Menendez brothers bashing that series, saying they felt there was a lot of blatant lies in there. Let me know, if you think it sounded accurate or not based on your research, if you followed the case. But nonetheless, even though they may not like it, it's definitely helped them. Like I said, the numbers that these different pieces of content have been done streaming have been like out of this world, on another level, and have just drawn so much more public interest into the case. But something that shocked me was, like we saw in those series, there was family members that didn't believe that they did this, and then when they found out about it, there was different reactions from some of them. But there was a press conference where family members spoke up and had their back and are advocating for them to come home. As you see, Kitty Menendez, niece Diane Hernandez, and nephew Arnold Vandermolen, with Kitty's sister Joanne Anderson Vandermolen, were at the press conference. So we got cousins and aunts and uncles and all kinds of people here. And she spoke up in their favor. This is Kitty's sister, Joanne Vandermolen. She got on the mic and, praised the district attorney for taking a brave and compassionate step forward in recommending resentencing. She said, this decision is not just a legal matter. It is a recognition of the abuse my cousins endured. We know this wasn't an easy decision, but it was the right one. This is about truth, justice, and healing. So you're hearing a family member there, not just saying like, good work, DA, you know, this is the right thing, but flat out saying they believe that this abuse was indeed true, you know? So like I said, I've seen split reactions from the family members and from a lot of people about this case. Again, the prosecutors all say that this was a lie cooked up by defense attorneys trying to score victim points. As we know, the original trial ended in a hung jury, only for them to be convicted later on. But she also said, reporters peppered Gascon with questions about his re-election. As we already pointed out, there's a lot of people saying that he's doing this for political gain. And he was saying that his office is not only doing this with the Menendez brothers case, that there's like 300 other people and will continue to do so in the future. So he's saying this is something that LA County wants to do on a more regular basis, look into older convictions and, see if there needs to be resentencing or something like that. So I don't know, man. Menendez mania continues. This court date, like I said, November 26th is the last court date that I've seen reported that could indeed change. But as for now, that seems like that's what it's going to be. And that's a big day. What's it today? The 1st, the 2nd. So what? 24 days ago, or no, the 3rd now, 23 days away. Will the Menendez brothers walk free? Should they walk free? Let's talk about it all in the comments. Subscribe and stay tuned for more true crime content as well as Menendez brothers content. Thanks for watching. I'm out of here. Peace.